Good morning. Good morning to those of you who have come in. I need you to do me a favor. As you're coming in, I need you to like, share, and tag friends, family, loved ones so they can come into our live this morning. I just have a couple of quick announcements that I want to make concerning the conference. I'll only be about 15 or 20 minutes and I'll let you be about your day. Good morning, Jakethia. Good morning. Good morning, Sister Joanne. Good morning. Good morning. We'll give everyone just a few more minutes. I know that it's still early. Um, but go ahead and like, tag, share. And in about 2 minutes, I'll go ahead and make these announcements. And if they're not on, they can catch me on the replay. Hey, Mom. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. About another minute and a half. I usually wait about 5 minutes just to let people get their notification, log in, do whatever. But I do want to make this announcement or a couple of quick announcements. And again, I'll let you be about your day. We now have 3 days. Today is Tuesday. We have 3 days until the Indefensive Bathsheba Conference. We're excited to welcome all of our guests here to Monroe, Louisiana. We are excited. The energy and excitement in the atmosphere in our region is electric. It's good to see people talking about the conference, excited about the conference, and looking forward to a move of God. And I wanted to announce a couple of things this morning. You may have seen some of those things, those of you who follow me on Facebook or Instagram. You may have saw some of my posts about some things that we're doing here in the community. We have finally finalized where we're going to host the comedy show. And a part of what we're doing here with the conference is not just um, the conference itself, where we are gathering in the arena at the Monroe Civic Center, but we're also moving outside of the walls. It has always been the mission of BKB Ministries, as well as Victor Temple Church, as well as County Line, that we are to fulfill the mission in Matthew 25, where Jesus asked the question, or he separates the righteous from the unrighteous. And he says to them, when I was hungry, you fed me not. When I was thirsty, you gave me not to drink. When I was sick and in prison, you visited me not. And neither did you take in the stranger. And so that has become our mission. And they asked and said to him, when did we see you hungry? When did we see you naked? When did we see you sick and in prison? And Jesus replied to them will be, such as you have done unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you've done it unto me. And so we are fulfilling that mission in every way that we can. And so, in conjunction with what we're doing at the Civic Center this weekend, we have comedian Michael Jr., who will be here, who is a dynamic comedian, a clean comedian, a Christian comedian, who also looks at it as his comedy as ministry. And so he will be here. He will be performing at the Monroe Civic Center as a part of the Indefensive Bathsheba Conference. But in conjunction with that, he will also, after he performs at the Civic Center on Saturday, we will be going to the Salvation Army here in Monroe for a show that we're putting on for our homeless population. And this is a magnificent opportunity that we have to service a demographic of our population that sometimes seems to be forgotten about, seems to be looked over. And so we're excited to be um, able to provide this and bring some joy to their lives, and also to minister, because at the end of the day, we want to be able to talk to them about Christ, pray with them, but also bring that little bit of joy to their lives. And so it's just an opportunity for us to lay a foundation to build a relationship with our homeless population and continue to grow and develop partnerships in the city as BKB Ministries continues to spread to spread and to expand. So we're excited about that. Also on Friday, we will be going to my alma mater, Ouachita High School here in Monroe, Louisiana. We will be speaking to their student body. And I thank Principal Charles Wright, even though they're testing and there's some other things going on, he's given us the opportunity to come in and speak with the student body, which is big, especially in this season where it's prom, it's graduation. There's a lot of things going on, and Nathan Harmon will be able to speak directly to those students. So we're excited about that as well. Tonight, and I'm going to save the big announcement for last. This is a big announcement to me. It may not be big to anybody else, but it's big to me. So tonight, I will be on at 5 p.m. with Bishop R.C. Blakes. We will be doing a segment together tonight, so make sure that you tune into that. I will release the details of our segment a little bit later this afternoon, which is going to be absolutely awesome. If you've not talked or ever heard Bishop Blakes, you need to listen. The wisdom that God has given him concerning marriages and relationships, and just building people, building women, is absolutely phenomenal. So we're excited to be on with him tonight at 5 p.m. And here's the big announcement that I have. And God really laid this on my heart a long time ago. And, I mentioned it to my team. And, we didn't really, I just kind of mentioned it. And we didn't really get into it. It was just kind of like, I don't know. So, the Lord continues to impress upon me, and this is for the entire city of Monroe, West Monroe, and surrounding areas. We have a situation, I'll call it, with our children, with our youth, where we're burying our children. We're burying them. They're being imprisoned, and so I don't think that it's any secret that our youth, our children, need us. Particularly in the Black community, with the gun violence and things of that nature. That it's every day seems like. So in our efforts to thwart the efforts of the enemy, to crush the enemy, and all that he's doing, on that Saturday morning, we have a panel discussion with a host of panelists that are experienced, they're educated, they're relatable, and I need all of our children to be there. Row for Real, also known as Daddy Row to those of us who are a little bit older, will be moderating the panel discussion. This won't be a boring yawn. It's going to be good. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be good. It's going to be informative. And this is the thing. There's some topics, and I'm a parent, and there are some topics that, let's just be honest, that are difficult to talk about with our children. There are issues that we want to discuss with them, but we're hoping that, they're not talking about these things, or they're not exposed to these things. But the truth of the matter is, with their access to technology, children are exposed to a whole lot very early. Of course, those of you who know that by profession, I am an administrator in an elementary school, and the things that I see that our children are exposed to in kindergarten, as early as kindergarten, is absolutely mind-blowing. You'd be surprised some of the things that they know. And so my point is this, that parents have difficulty finding the opportunities or creating opportunities to have difficult discussions with their children about drugs, about alcohol, about sex, about various topics, a myriad of topics. They sometimes find it difficult and they struggle. And children a lot of times find it difficult to talk to their parents about things. And so they turn to their peers where they may not be getting the very best of advice or counsel. And so what we're doing and what I want to do is for that morning session that begins at 10 a.m. And then we'll take lunch from 12 to 1. At 2 o'clock, we will come back with our youth choir and we'll hear from Nathan Harmon and Mark Cole. Mark is the next generation pastor at First West in West Monroe, Louisiana. And Nathan Harmon, of course, is also a speaker who will be speaking at Washita, who will be able to connect with our young people as well as older people. But my point is this, I want them to be there. So Saturday morning and that first afternoon session, I'm going to allow all students age 18 and under with their high school ID, I'm going to allow them into the conference for free. I just want them to be there to get this information. I want them to, and I'm putting this on the parents, and that's why I need you to share this. The number right now isn't high. There's about 8, 9 people that are watching this right now as far as what this shows on my screen. But this is something you need to pass on to people who are having trouble with their children, because I get so many calls from parents who don't know what to do with their children. Can you pray? I don't know if they're possessed. I don't know if they're rebellious. I get so many calls. Can you pray for my daughter? Can you pray for my son? They're going through, they won't talk to me, they won't open up. And some of that you can attribute to just, preteen, teenage stuff, maybe. There's some of that activity that you can push toward that and say, yeah, that's just that. But a lot of this is that we are under attack, and we understand this. And I want you to understand something very, very clearly, that the enemy doesn't discriminate. He comes after our children. And if you're not proactive, I'm not just talking about Sunday school, but I'm talking about proactive as far as putting and laying a solid foundation for your children and giving them truth. They'll turn to things like the universe and the energy because they don't have the foundation of Christ. And I'm not talking about bringing them to a religious institution or bringing them to a place where they're not taught the truth. And I'm one of those people who welcome their questions because they have questions about how things evolved, how things work. They don't just accept, okay, well, you say Jesus is the way. How do you know? How do you know he's real? All of these things. I get these questions from young people. And you have to have somebody who's well-rounded enough to be able to answer their questions and to put to rest all of their doubt with biblical truth and evidence. And so with that comes the challenge of bringing them in, because let's just be honest, our region, not just our children, our region isn't used to having conferences of this size, or, and I say that because I've talked to so many people who are like, I've never been to a conference. I'm not a conference type person. And I tell them this, you have to be open-minded. I've never been to the Bahamas, but I'm going. You understand? I'm open-minded about it. I will be there very soon. And so, I'm just saying to them that you have to be open-minded. Don't just close your mind off to it. And then the other thing is that this conference is not just for the churched. This conference is for the unchurched. This conference is for people from all walks of life, which is why we mixed. And let me just throw this in there just as a tidbit, that this conference cannot just be labeled as a faith conference. And the reason that God gave it to me this way is because you cannot separate faith and mental health. I mean, I think that they're intertwined. I think that they are definitely connected. And so we don't want to separate that. We want people to be saved and healthy mentally, and to go through all of the steps that they need to go through to get back to a place of health, a place of peace in their minds, and to learn to cope with things, and also learn to grow in Christ as well. And I've heard people say this, and I believe there's nothing wrong with having Christ and a counselor. Um, there's nothing wrong, and I'll just say it again. There's nothing wrong with having Christ and a counselor, a therapist. And so I want you to listen to me as I say this one more time. I want all of our children there, and this is my appeal to the parents. I need those of you who are on here. You're going to have to be my voice this morning to tag people that you know are having trouble with their children. I need every principal. I need every administrator. I need grandparents, uncle. I need you to bring those children to the Monroe Civic Center Saturday morning at 10 o'clock and let them be there to experience that panel discussion, to hear those topics. They'll be able to interact and ask their questions to the panelists. And these are people that they know from their community. They'll be able to ask their questions. They'll be able to interact and participate in this roundtable discussion. But I need them there for the worship as well when our youth choir comes in. And I'll also need them there to hear our speakers, Nathan Harmon and Mark Cole. Listen, this is going to be an experience for them. And so I'm calling out every high school, every junior high, from here to Shreveport to Alexandria, Washita, West Monroe, Nelville, Ruston, Bastrop, Sterlington, Rayville, Richwood, Southwood, Airline, Bossier. I'm calling on all of these schools. If you care about your youth, if you care about where they are, the junior highs as well, bring them and let them be a part of this. And again, with their ID, there is no charge. There's no charge because I just want them there. I want them to be there to experience this. And you never hear of young people, you don't hear about young people going to a conference or attending something like this. But this is where they need to be. This is where they need to be. And I was speaking on this a little while ago in church. You know, I come from the time when we didn't have a choice where we went. You know, we don't, you know, nowadays we parent a little bit different. We ask kid, do you want to go? And when I get up to go somewhere, my children automatically ask me, when I tell them to get dressed, their first question is, where are we going? And I tell them, put your clothes on. Because you're asking me, like, as if I tell you where we're going and you have a choice not to go. Get dressed, put your clothes on. And so they don't have a choice. If I'm going somewhere, they're going somewhere. You have a choice as to whether or not you're going to stay. So I need you to make this choice for your children and for their future, that they're important enough for us to sacrifice for them to be there with us this Saturday for that morning session from 10 to 2 o'clock. And here's the thing I want you to do. Don't just drop them off. I want you to bring them in with you. Now, you're going to have to pay and get you a ticket, but they will come in absolutely free. And I promise you, you won't regret your decision. But that's the announcement that I want to make. And I'm going to make and have a release for you this afternoon. I need you to put that out. Again, I'm challenging our high schools. I'm challenging our junior highs, our principals. You know, bring your beta club. Bring your students, bring your honor students, bring your students who are not in honors, bring your students, your challenged students, your behavior problems, bring those students. Encourage your parents to bring those students to the conference Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, for our roundtable discussion. We're going to discuss some things that your children may want to talk to you about, but they never found the way. And let me just give you an example of why this is so important. I've been doing this work for quite some time. I was working with Piney Woods in Ruston, which is an organization that does help with sexual assault and other traumas in children. And as I was working with them, we had an event outside in Ruston, and I was handing out some literature. And a woman who was there and participating in the event took some of the literature and she just took it home with her. She took the literature home and she set it on the table. Listen to me very carefully. She set it on the table with her purse. Her two daughters saw the literature on the table and broke down in tears and said to the mother, how did you know? We're glad that you finally know. And the mother was so confused as she thought, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I finally know, or I finally recognize what's happening. And what had been going on is the stepfather, um, or the father rather, because the girls were adopted. Both of the girls were adopted. Um, he had been molesting the girls since they were smaller. They were at that time a little bit older, but he was molesting the little girls, and it was the literature that the girls saw that gave them the confidence to say to the adopted mother, this is what's been going on. And it had been going on for years. And they resented her because they thought that she knew, and just turned a blind eye. And they also felt that, you know, they wanted to do something to themselves. They wanted to do something to them. And so the mother reached out to me and told me the story. And she thanked me for just having the courage to continue to do the work. And she also said to me that she understood why her daughters were rebellious. It explained so much, and it brought some understanding. And of course, she was hurt because of the issue with her husband, but he was arrested, and the rest is history. But my point is this: that just the literature, just the simple literature, was an opportunity to break open some things that needed to be brought out in that home. So listen, once again, Friday at Washita High School, Nathan Harmon will be there speaking to the student body. Saturday, we'll be at the Monroe Civic Center, of course, for the conference, but we're also going to be at the Salvation Army with Michael Jr. doing a show for our homeless population. All students age 18 and under will get into the conference for free. I need you, parents, grandparents, make sure that they are there. Make sure that they're there. We will be taking a list. I'll be taking names, and the high school and junior high that has the most children, I'm going to do something for you. I have not decided what that is. I'm going to make a donation to the school, monetary, some party. We're going to do something. But I just need the children there. And I'm going to put the requirements out. And all I can do is put that out for you. I can put that out there for you. I cannot make you come, but I can put that out there for the parents. I can put it out there for the children. I'll put the details of how we're going to do this on Facebook and Instagram. And I just need you to share it out. And I need to get this word to the high schools. I'll be on the radio today saying this same thing, 100.1 The Beat. I'll be on there today saying this very same thing, that I need these kids. We need these children to be there so that we can minister to them, so that we can talk to them. There will be counselors and therapists there in case they need that. That resource will also be available to our children. Amen. And absolutely for the free. So make sure that you have your children there. Again, I'll release the details about that, but just know right now that they need to be there for free. They don't have to have a ticket, but I don't want them just to come in. I want you to stay with them so that you can make that connection with your child. All right. So I'm out of here. I have to get ready to go to work. I know that you do too. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you this weekend. I'm so excited about this fellowship that we're going to have together. I'm so excited about this opportunity that we're able to welcome the magnitude of people that's going to be here for this conference. So nonetheless, our panelists, our performers, our acts, our speakers, we're looking forward to, and we're excited to welcome them into the city. All right. So thank you again to all our sponsors. Thank you so much for all that you have done. You believe in this. Thank you to my team. And I'll get through all of that stuff later, for all of their sacrifices. And again, enjoy your day. And I'll see you this afternoon, this evening. Don't forget, 5 o'clock, I'll be on with Bishop Blake's, and I'll release that information later. Have a great day.